Uber and Lyft drivers, do you drive and do you pick up at stadium events like NFL games and other high attended events? Let's go over what you said. Hey everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to Real Rideshare Stories. And last week I did a reaction to an article that came out in my market about a person who had to wait a few hours before getting a ride after attending a Monday Night Football game from the Bills and the Patriots game. And then I talked about my experience when it came to picking somebody up at the stadium and why I would never do it again. But I became interested and wanted to know what you would do. Do you pick up people at events like NFL games or other large capacity attended events? I'm talking about something like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus thousand people all leaving somewhere around the same time. Do you drive that? Do you try to make that and get somebody when that happens? Or do you try to avoid it altogether? So I asked the poll on the YouTube community tab, and this is what you had to say. All right, so what you see on the screen right now, it says, do you drive and pick up at stadium events, which are NFL games and other 30 plus thousand people? And comment your experience for anybody who did. So 7% of people said, yeah, as much as I can, I will try to go to those events and pick people up. And then 27% of people said, did it once and never again. And I fall under that category. I had one experience when it came to the stadium and I won't go there again. Now we do have the arena where the Sabres play, and I'll go there, and there's a lot of concerts and things that happen there, and I'll go there and pick people up. It's a lot easier to go and pick people up there because the way the spot is designed, even though you might be sitting in traffic a little bit trying to get there, it's surely a lot easier to get people than it is to go to the stadium at where the Bills play and try to pick people up there. So there are certain circumstances where, yeah, I don't mind going to a place that's got 20,000 people coming out at one time versus 74,000 people coming out at one time. Whole different beast. But I digress. And then 65% said, no way, they're avoiding these at all costs. So overall, 93% say they don't want to take large capacity events because it's really not worth it or it's a real headache. And 7% will. So when it comes down to these large capacity events, and I'm talking about, 20, 30, 40 plus thousand people, all the way up to maybe 100,000 people, depending on the stadium, the arena, whatever's going on in that area, and they're all leaving around the same time, it might be very, very difficult to get rides. And the reason why I say this and bring this up is because, well, you want to make sure you have that in the back of your mind if you're going to use an Uber or a Lyft. You might have to hang out and wait a little bit of time. So finding something near the stadium or the event, like a bar or a restaurant, something to hang out with and, just enjoy the moments for a little while, that could be a great option in the event that you're not able to find somebody to come and pick you up. So now let's go over a couple of the things that people had to say. So Steve said, I don't try hard to avoid them, but won't purposely try to get close to either. If a ride comes, I take them as long as the rider rating isn't too low. Paulie says, surges and price gouging ruin any chance at a tip. The police, pedestrian traffic, and 30 plus minute wait time to sometimes get into the pickup area is also time wasted. 100% Paulie. Rideshare's Trickster says, not worth the stress, especially when the surge is $1 to $5. And Desbane puts, Amazon warehouses are just as bad. I avoid them. Now, changing the subject slightly, when it comes to Amazon warehouse, yeah, they can be a real pain because everybody gets out at the same time and the amount of workers that are there. Now, I have an Amazon warehouse, big one that's going up very soon, but we also have a shipping center that sometimes I will go to. And the problem with that is, yeah, there's a lot of people getting out at that same time, but it's also out of the area from anywhere. The only good thing is usually the return trips are usually going back to the city. So that's not too bad when it comes down to it. It's just a matter of where you are and not going out of your way in the event something like that happens. But again, you need to know your market and if it's going to be worth it for you to take or not. And when it comes to stadium events like NFL games, I'm going to avoid them. And you can see many people are going to avoid them or not want to take them because of the hassle, because of the headache, because of the things that are happening. And it's just a real pain when it comes to trying to pick up people. Remember, drivers get paid for driving people around, not sitting there trying to pick people up or waiting for a ride to come in. But now I want to hear from you. So drivers that may not have seen the poll question, I want to know, what are your thoughts? Do you go to these large events to pick people up? Do you try to make it a habit to go and do these? Do you try to avoid them? What's your experiences been? Comment below, let me know. All right, that's the end of the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded. And as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, delivery drivers, and your shoppers. We'll see you next time.